Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about narcissistic imprints. I looked online a little bit about narcissistic imprints. I don't know where this term comes from, or because I see a lot of talk about it in the spiritual community, but I don't really know what it's from. But I'm going to share with you what narcissistic imprints are to me, how I've experienced them in my life, and a little bit of advice for you on how to clear your narcissistic imprints. My process for clearing them is really intuitive and advanced, so I don't know how to explain it in a way that makes sense. And that yes. So, but first, let's talk about narcissistic imprints. So, in my opinion, a narcissistic imprint is when a narcissist has a malicious intention towards you that creates actions that target a weakness of yours to influence your mind, energy field, and create a certain reality for you. True narcissistic imprints, in my opinion, are disturbing, evil, demonic. And I think the ones that I've cleared and had the most kind of advanced process in clearing were from very demonic, manipulative, exceptionally manipulative individuals. How I recognize imprints is usually when it's always in relationship with others. The core, if narcissistic abuse had a core intention, it's to isolate people from each other, right? Unity consciousness is how humanity heals itself. It's how most problems on the world are solved. It's how conflict is solved. Narcissistic relationships and family systems are full of conflict all the time. There's no harmony. There's no true connection. So isolation is really the true intention of narcissistic abuse. And when a narcissist has malicious intentions, their intentions aren't really serving them. Their intentions are serving the entities and energies that they have aligned themselves with. But the narcissist never wins, you know what I mean? They're living in their own kind of hellish world, so their intentions aren't really serving them. But what this looks like is, I talked about in one of my recent videos, how narcissists gaslight you without saying a word. When a narcissist has a malicious intention, since they're a manifest creator just like you, they're able to take actions or say words that condition you by getting in through your weaknesses. And so, an example of this, have you ever had a narcissist repeat a phrase to you over and over and over again? This is a common thing I've experienced in all my relationships with narcissists, is they all have their things that they say to you over and over and over again. It's like the script. That's the conditioning, and that's where the imprints are being created. Though I never have noticed these imprints except with the really malicious, exceptional manipulators. So I'm going to give you an example of one of these phrases. It's a little bit vulnerable, but one of the phrases that I heard a lot from one narcissistic person in my life who I consider exceptionally demonic, evil, and manipulative is, "You think everyone is against you." And this phrase would come out it's almost like this narcissist was creating conflict with me just so she could tell me this phrase, which is really strange, right? This is what narcissists do. It's they create conflict so that they can condition you. And it's over and over and over again. You think everyone is against you. You think everyone is against you. And this phrase isn't true. But what I had recognized was that this phrase actually created an imprint in my nervous system that was sabotaging my connections with others. So most of the time, without this imprint, my truth, I have discernment. So I don't think I'm not paranoid. I don't think everyone is against me. But I also don't blindly trust people anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't assume everyone is love, light, and rainbows and innocent, because they're not. And I had noticed that this imprint was created in my consciousness where only with certain individuals I was thinking everyone was against me. I was really suspicious of these people, and my discernment was clouded, and I was confused and all these things. And this had an effect of sabotaging something very important to me. And what I realized is that the pattern that this narcissistic person has had in my life is sabotaging my relationships. This person has sabotaged many, many, many things in my life. So this narcissist's underlying intention towards me is sabotage. And as I was analyzing this imprint within myself, I started with meditation and then a full chakra energy healing clearing on myself. And as I was analyzing this imprint, my meditation like guided me towards this. But as I was analyzing this energy within me relating to my connections, you know, it felt like shame, but shame wasn't quite the right word. And the frequency that I identified was sabotage. And I'm not a believer in self-sabotage, though. For me, I think the only people that self-sabotage are narcissists. I don't think anyone else self-sabotages. But so I'm like, I don't sabotage myself. So what is this energy? So then it is like, so that I understood, right? This frequency and this like struggle that I was having was actually a manifest creation of this narcissist intention in my life that had created an imprint in my energy field that was playing this script. You think everyone is against you. And this script has been repeated to me by this person, had been repeated to me a lot. And this was the conditioning that I inherited. And so how I healed this was I did like a clearing in the mind, body, and spirit. So first I began with meditation and contemplation. Then I did the energy healing, and I recognized an emotion. There was like this feeling of sadness and aloneness. And as I went deeper into that emotion, I saw what this imprint looked like in the spirit, or what this wound looked like in the spirit. So it looked like a spark in my heart that was like really guarded. And what I did next was I offered self-love and light to this part of myself. So I imagined angels like hugging my heart. And I just offered love and compassion to myself for this wound. So then I'm healing the mind and the body. Or I'm healing the body. That's the first step. I'm healing the body. I'm feeling the emotions. Next, I'm also seeing what it looks like in spirit. And healing it through visualization, which like connects to the spirit, right? Next, I started working on the mind. So I think this is a really underrated part of healing. Like I think a lot of people like sell energy healing online, and like that's amazing. It's beautiful to put those like things out into the world and heal others. But I think what's really important is that like you need to do the intellectual like pattern recognition and reflection, especially when we're dealing with manipulation in order to heal imprints, or heal like anything really, because we want to reprogram the mind. So once I kind of like identified the frequency sabotage and I recognized what was going on, there was like this reluctance to open up my heart. There's this reluctance to let people in. It's like the suspicion of others. This is the imprint that was created. I felt this resistance of like, no, I'm not going to let any connection in. Like I felt this extreme resistance. And so then I had the patience with myself. Like I'm not going to force myself. And how I worked through that resistance was through intellectual understanding and journaling. So I did a lot of journaling about this imprint to really like understand it fully. And I had to work through some of the confusion and create clarity in my mind, because I think that's whenever there's confusion, there's usually manipulation from someone. And this confusion and the lack of clarity is kind of like the hook that can keep the imprint alive. But by creating clarity, you kind of dissolve the energies that allow this imprint to overtake you. And then as I worked through this understanding and reflection and pattern recognition, and trusted myself on that, and I reprogrammed my mind, and I actually saw an instant result. So this whole process took about like 2 or 3 hours for me. And as soon as I was done, I felt this result of being able to receive connection. So this is how I cleared my narcissistic imprint. But here's here's like a map of my process. So first it was like contemplation, meditation, energy healing. I also was doing somatic movement to heal my body. I recognized that there was emotion in my body. I did a psychic scan. That's where I saw what it looked like in my heart. I recognized the location of it. I gave myself self-love and light, self-support. I recognized the resistance. Then I had the recognition of what frequency it was, sabotage. And then I brought light to my mind and via awareness and the intellectual understanding part. Then I found a result, and then I worked with my star rubies. So star rubies are specifically for healing narcissistic imprints, and these star rubies specifically that I have, they taught me how to clear imprints. I was like communing with the consciousness of these star rubies in meditation, and it guided me to clear the first imprint that I ever cleared. It was like literally having a back and forth with me, telling me exactly what to do. So super cool. Love these things. And they have little light stars in them. I don't think I can show it on camera, but oh, you can kind of see it. Yeah. But yeah. So that's like the map. But the skills that I like utilized in this process were meditation, intuition, psychic vision, understanding, self-respect, energy healing, self-love, pattern recognition, discernment, self-trust, patience, and regulation. So this is all the skills that I needed to clear this narcissistic imprint in myself. But the beautiful thing is, like, most of these skills I developed by experiencing exceptional manipulation, malicious intentions, and having no support system. That I had to trust myself. I had to learn how to heal myself because there's no other way. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. How to clear narcissistic imprints. So basically, the most important thing to like begin is like notice the repetitive things that they do. What is the intention behind that? Like, how is this affecting you? How is this affecting you in a very subtle way? And then we understand that like these narcissists have intentions that target your weaknesses and create these imprints to like have a kind of authority over your energy field. And the funny part is like a lot of like the unconscious people in the world are actually deeply affected by these types of imprints. But there's levels to it, right? There's more like benign imprints, but I think the imprint I worked on here was a very was quite a disturbing one. But I will see you guys in the next video, and I love. Bye.